I forgot. I just left it there.
We're gonna die.
All right, ready? Go in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Going live. The greatest thing you can do is going live.
Boom.
Going live. All right, we are live. I think. I don't know. I can't ever tell anymore. YouTube changed so many things. It's gotten so weird. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about things and stuff and things and some more stuff and things. And then after that, we're going to talk about stuff and things. But mostly, we're going to talk about how an event went in Philadelphia. We're going to talk about how Charles beats children in his house, which is why they'll be knocking on the door today. And we'll be talking about
wow.
Yeah, it got deep there, didn't it? And
I love it.
Yeah,
perfect timing.
Let's get this started. I already hear screaming.
Let's do it. Roll the intro. Come on. All right. Got it. Chat works great. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, I can really hear like screaming children in the background.
Oh, so
in the background.
I can hardly hear you. But
ooh, stuff and things, things and stuff and stuff and things.
Stuff and things and stuff and things. All right, man.
That's what's going on today.
So since it's a drinking show, and you took a first sip, what's in your glass?
Well, obviously, it is the 18-year Optimus rum, right here from the Dominican. It's Optimus. It tastes delicious. It's an 18-year, allegedly. It says Año Solera, so I'm assuming it's an 18-year Solera Vatting.
That means nothing.
Which means it's probably a year old.
Yeah.
Anyways, super, super good, though, so who cares? Because it tastes fantastic.
Do you think that means that the vat is 18
bottle.
years old? Or
yes,
what?
correct. So
just the vat itself?
So here's how they do it. You put a bunch of crap in there, you age until it's 18 years old, and then you take half of it out.
And then
you
just
put new crap in.
And just keep doing
you take
that way?
half of it out. New crap in.
Yeah.
Half of it, correct. And just do whatever.
So
is some of it 18 years old? Sure. Is it all 18 years old?
No. And that's what confuses it crap out of me, and I don't think that's ever going to change for rum.
Santa Cruz.
You think it's going to change for rum?
Yeah, I think it will. I think some brands will stick to it, like Bacardi with their 8-year and their 10-year, which are legitimately 8-year and 10-year.
Yeah.
They rave about it. And then there's one or two other brands. Dos Madeiras does the same thing. Their 5 + 5 is 10 years old.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a lot of people who don't.
Yeah, I'm just curious. All right. For me, I have a whiskey flight so far of 2. It's not really by its verses.
Oh, that's our topic for today, whiskey flights. I totally forgot.
So I have, in the Scotch and Sniff glass, I have the brand new bottle that I purchased, the barbecue fish nuts. So I'm excited. I haven't tried. I just opened this today, so just now. So that, and then the one in the middle is the 93-106 Red Diesel, which is from Glen Scotia as well. So see how it goes. What's the difference between the two? Besides, what? They're both 13 years old. One's first fill hogshead port. The other one is, it won't tell me. So that's fun. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out together.
Yeah. But yeah.
Hola, Habs.
Any bottles you picked up this week?
Hola, Santa Cruz.
Besides
Hola,
rum?
Eric. Heck yes. I picked up rum, and I picked up some more rum. I picked up rum that makes people happy, Optimus, and I picked up rum that pisses people off.
Oh,
yeah.
Basil Hayden's. That's not the rum, is it? Is it the rum finished?
Here's the thing. It's called Caribbean Reserve rum, right?
Yeah.
What they did is the same thing they did on the dark rye. The dark rye, they put 4% port in it. Well, guess who decided to blend up some rum into some whiskey and some Canadian whiskey?
That's going to hide a lot of the whiskey.
This is 8-year Basil Hayden's, 4-year Canadian whiskey, and then rum. And do you know what it tastes like?
Rum.
It tastes like a nice complex rum. It's so good. If you love rum. If you're looking for Basil Hayden rye typical flavor,
people go nuts.
Nope.
Because that just sounds like, because I feel as though that rum as a spirit would overpower most things. That's the reason why they use it.
Oh, it's very sweet.
You know, they finish it in barrels and stuff like that, so makes sense. Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, I was kind of late to the ball with the whole Scotchman Voice Society one, so.
Yeah, no, that new 93-114. I'm curious to see what you think of it. Also, everybody in chat, what are you drinking? I'm super curious. I see a Glengoyne 15. Steve, no surprise there. Shimon, you like the Basil Hayden's rum? Because I like it, but I love rum. What's the point with Basil? That's a good question. Just get the regular Basil Hayden rye. Costco, $30. Move on. That's what I would do.
my nose is off today.
Why? Oh, you smell. Oh, yeah. Let's go through it. Because I've already done the review for it. For scotchandsniff.com. The review will come out Friday. I've already gone through it. As usual, I'm sure Aaron, aka Abled Cars, will read it, find some grammatical errors for me, and end up messaging me about that. But
okay, so
yeah, no,
that's right.
Let's do a live tasting.
Because right now, like I'm like they're both same alcohol percentage on my nose, and then when I looked at it, one's what 59, and the other one's what 58.4.
59.
So it's basically the same.
Skip the 58.4. Let's just do the 59. Just do the 90-14. Come on. What do you get on the nose? Oh, there's so much on the nose. Knob Creek blended with Michter's? That sounds weird.
Spicy hop, not peat forward, but peat smoke at the end. Very fruity.
Like plums? Like plums and currants?
Don't. I would say currants. I wouldn't say plums.
Yeah. All right. So you already tasted it. You got a lot of spice, right? Was that your first sip or second sip?
That's my first sip.
All right, take a second sip and get it out of the way. Do you have any water with you?
I have vodka. That's close enough.
No, that's God. You need to put water in there.
That's fine.
I'll explain to you in a minute why. That needs water, and it's like so rewarding when you put a little water in it, just a couple drops.
I get a bit of dryness, but it's not like a wine dryness.
Yeah, there's a little bit of tannicness to it. It's the port. So you're gonna get a little bit of grapes, a little bit of currants. Seriously,
I get a lot more
get some
spice.
water.
That's fine. I have no water around.
Yeah. It's only spicy the first time.
The only thing I have water around is fish tank water. I'm not using fish tank water.
Listen to me. I will entertain everybody in here while you go get water.
Okay.
All right.
So,
all right. Charles is going to go get water, and then I'm going to talk to you guys. So I went to an event this weekend, this Saturday. I got invited to an event, the Whiskey Watch. Perhaps you guys have heard of him. Steve ended up working closely with a bar in Pennsylvania. I think it's Waynesboro, but I don't think so. It's right outside of Westchester. Anyways, Steve, the Whiskey Watch, worked with this bar together so they could do a Pennsylvania whiskey flight, and it was super good, super legit. It was all Pennsylvania whiskeys like Manitani and the other ones, Dad's Hat. I can't remember all of them, and Steve's in the chat too. But basically, it was like 10 of us, and we got to sit down with was that the bar owner? I don't know if it was the bar owner or not, but basically he sat down with us and walked us through the process of the 5 whiskeys that he put out on the table, and then we got to do a barrel pick. Basically, he had 3 different bottles that he had that were samples that we got to blend together and mash up, and then basically do the next barrel pick for what they're going to buy a barrel of for that bar, which is super legit. But I think the best part of the flight, obviously, was I'm just getting to try a bunch of whiskeys that were all Pennsylvania local. Some of them were made from all Pennsylvania like ingredients also. So everything was made in Pennsylvania. So it was a really, really, really cool, different style of flight, but very good also. I've never seen a flight where they did it all by terroir instead of doing a flight by, just regions or whatever. But it was pretty nifty. Charles, did you get some water?
I got some
This
water.
is the most important part. Yes, I talked about Steve's event, and you missed out on all that.
Yeah,
it's fine.
that's not
You can
fun,
watch
man.
it replay. The
No.
most important part is that you get a little water. And trust me, I'm telling you, when I sat down to do the review of this, I thought I would hate this because Glen Scotia is not usually on my map as like, oh my gosh, I want to get into this whiskey. But this is the first whiskey in 5 years.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Ben of Single Malt Alliance and Nate Whiskey of Whiskey with a View all agree is legit. We're all like in agreement that this is a good whiskey, but for completely different reasons, which is the irony. But seriously, did you put just a couple drops of water?
I put like 3 drops of water.
That's all it needs. It just needs a little bit of water. Swirl that bad boy up.
Calm down, people.
Dude, I'm stoked on this one because it's so good.
And then later on,
As I sip this rum, I realized I made a mistake. I should have got some Glen Scotia. Yeah. Use a little hand. Use a little hand.
Use my little hand.
What are you nosing? It opens up just a little
it
bit.
opened up a bit more. More red fruits.
Yeah.
It moved from like a dark black currant to
A little bit of sweet.
maybe like a plum that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Or
like a sweet goodness.
like a nice red grape.
Yeah.
The smoke died.
Yep. That's only part of it though. Get in that palate. Oh my gosh, I'm pulling up my review just so I can make sure that like
Someone else gets it.
yeah, with water, it like Yeah, definitely. With water, I was actually getting caramel sweet of port, and I was actually getting milk chocolate, like legit milk chocolate on the nose. But tell me what you're getting on the palate. This is exciting.
For me, I'm getting a lot less spice, but more on the back. I'm getting more. I would say like a more of a light port. Not a sherry, a light port.
Is that all you're getting?
I'm gonna go back. Give me a sec. I want to taste some water.
Yeah. Wait, what's creepy? What are you guys talking about?
My hand.
Oh, it's just a little hand. That's normal. I got a bathroom full of them.
Yeah, he does. It's fucking hilarious.
Can I give you some auto suggestion?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh, I want to give you some auto suggestion. Because when I tell you, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what that is." Just tell me when you're ready. Oh, I'm so stoked on this dram. I'm telling you, man. So I'll tell you in the finish carries a ton of heat and heat, but the water kills it all, and like what it replaces it with. You were talking about it still being a little bit of heat on the back, but it's more like pepper. And I'll explain what's going on. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, go
for it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Very sweetness too, like a strong sweetness.
It wasn't Waynesboro. Teresa's in somewhere. Okay, so here we go. You're getting sweetness too. Watch this. Okay, take another sip, and while it's in your mouth, I'm gonna
keep going. Go.
No. Take a sip. Take a sip. Come on. We do this for everybody. Do it for the gram. Do it for the YouTube. Okay. Come on.
All right, ready?
Get it. Yeah. Okay, while it's in your mouth, right? So the sweetness you're tasting is like syrup, like for pancakes, right? But you're getting a bit of salinity like bacon. I'm telling you, it's like syrup covered bacon. It is so good. No?
So at the end, I was thinking like a sweet what are they called? Like, you know when you drizzle, and it's not maple syrup, but when you drizzle syrup, you get that that viscosity, but with like a breakfast sausage.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I got. Like, that's in my head, but I'm like, that's kind of weird.
I get more bacon than breakfast sausage, but it's definitely. I think I wrote meat.
It's definitely like a peppered peppered meat.
So of water destroy the hot edge of the meat finish and replaces it with. Yes, this is candied bacon.
But yeah. Yeah. See, and I guess maybe it's because I don't have candied bacon a lot.
Did you not hear what I said?
No, I heard you said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, meats, but with candied bacon, and then you broke up a little bit.
Yeah, meat. Yeah. So, candied bacon's where it's at.
So, like, at the end, I kind of got like a sauce. You know, like the sausage, the small little like sausage links, like English breakfast sausage links that you get.
Maple sausage links.
Yeah, like that. But it wasn't maple syrup that I got though. That wasn't the sweetness. Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely a bottle that I wish I bought a second one of. And this is Glen Scotian port. So, and Wally's not moving, which is scaring me.
Oh,
you are. Okay, yeah.
It's really weird because I also it's not that I was thinking. It's that my screen was showing me that everything was stopping every couple seconds. But it's whatever. I don't know what's going on. I just rebooted my computer too, so I'm really not worried.
Yeah. So when I talked to Ben about this, he said that both of these. So this is the Red Diesel 93. So Glen Scotia's 106, and then the 1114 were both Glen Scotia's 13 years old, finished in port. But one was more peat forward, which is the Red Diesel, and one was more of the port forward, which is the barbecue and fishnets.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want.
And that's pretty cool because barbecue, I can get the meat. I'm not sure in the fishnet part, but I get the meat.
Oh, I don't get the fish. Oh, I get salinity, and I think that's what they're talking about for the fishnet, which really gives the bacon taste.
So thinking about fishnets like fishnet stockings, or fishnets like a net to fish?
No, fishnets like that's where the salinity comes in. Here. I'm gonna read you the review.
By the way, this review is on. It's gonna be on scotchandsniff.com.
Yeah, it'll be up there on Friday. I'll post it on Instagram. Everybody will know. So, all right, on the nose, sweet and light peat with a bit of salinity. There's shortbread buttery sweetness. And for whatever reason, as I sat there sipping it, I kept getting milk chocolate. And it was freaking me out. But I was like, I don't know why that's happening. But I think it's because of the port. So with water, the nose turns to caramel sweet of port and a bit of dark fruit. On the palate, initial notes of plum and leather on the palate. And they last only until you take a breath. With water, it shines. Fresh pan-fried bacon drizzled with a bit of plain syrup. Delicious bacon without the normal offenses of peat. This is magic. The finish carries the heat neat, but a bit of water destroys the hot edge with a meat finish and replaces it with peppered bacon grease. And I love the sweet bacon without the typically accompanying flavors of tongue destruction. This is what peat should strive for more often. This was a good bottle to buy. So, and I'm not a Glen Scotia fan.
So this is interesting, right? So I've had the 93-106, the Red Diesel, which I love, right? It's probably one of the best whiskeys I've had this year. I'm not going to say it trumps the Highland Park 40, because I think that's more of a specialty bottle. Like, that's like a... I don't think that as an everyday drinking bottle.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put that as, like, my rating for best whiskey, because we tried some amazing whiskeys during that trip that, frankly, I'm not going to be buying. You know, like, the money is just insane. Like, one from Macallan, right? Like, that thing was nuts.
The exceptional cask?
Yeah, or the one from Gemma where, like, I know I'm never going to get that.
That was a one-time thing. That's not going to happen again.
So in retrospect of bottles that I've been trying this year, the Red Diesel is probably one of the top. This one might beat it just because it's more port forward, which is what I personally like.
Yeah.
But overall, it's made me look at Glen Scotia a bit more. But the problem I have is I don't think I'm going to buy their regular bottlings. I might just start hunting for single barrels.
Yeah. Glen Scotia to me is closer to like Buna. So it's like, it's dirty ocean water.
Yeah.
And if you're into that, it's super good. And if you're not into it, give me more.
Yeah.
You can keep all the peat, but send me all the red tide.
No, but that's great. And I'm glad we're getting the same kind of notes, because it was kind of weird that... So I personally don't get a lot of meats in my whiskeys. A lot of people do.
I do from hard bags.
Especially with like the peated stuff. I can't get past that smoke. I can't touch that yet, but... Hey, Kevin, then I guess not for you, man. If you bought a bottle, let me know. I'll buy it off you.
Oh, Kevin, I'm not a port finish fan either, actually. I'm much more of a sherry.
Yeah, I'm a big port. I don't know why. I just think it's just...
Not port as in beer, like a porter. Port as in port wine.
Yeah.
Which is typically made in Portugal, but it's made all over the world.
Now,
generally aged in 10-year ranges, 10, 20, 30, and then... It's fantastic. If you've ever had it, it's a dessert wine, so drink it aperitif.
I'm a big fan of also like Malbecs, which is... I'm not saying the same note, but they still have the strong flavors. Argentinian
Malbec is much more earthy, and that's not wine in the same group.
That's where I feel like port's gonna be.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, I'm trying to cleanse my pipe now.
With vodka.
With vodka, yeah. With mint. Yeah. There's not a lot of water left, man. All right. So on this episode, by the way, thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking the review. We're probably gonna put that in the show notes, but Wally's review will be there on Friday. So check out his review. We weren't all bullshitting when we really liked this bottle, because it sold out, I think, in 2 days. It
sold out super fast.
Yeah, it was really quick.
Yeah, and only sold in America, all 285 bottles.
So, and that's positive. That's something that we, as people in the community, really hope for more single barrels coming through. Ones like this, so it shows that Americans are actually interested in this stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Whiskey Flights. So that was brought to you by... Man, who was that person that sent it to us? So usually every Tuesday I send out on Instagram a message of what topics you guys want to discuss. Whiskey Flights was one of the topics, and the other topic we're going to talk about is tasting notes from the community. So Whiskey Flights, man. So I did a Whiskey Beginners class, Whiskey Flight in the Philippines, which I enjoyed.
At least I have whiskey suggested it.
There you go. Thanks for checking the photo. But yeah, so what is a whiskey flight? I think we've discussed this before, but it's basically a number of whiskeys put in a line in front of you. I personally think a whiskey flight is something that you can go back to back on or taste them through. Some people like it where it's one by one, where it's kind of describing each one. What do you think a whiskey flight is, in your opinion?
So I think it depends on the palate of the person. So if you've got a more advanced palate and you have the ability to sit down with one dram by itself and you can pull notes and pull flavors just fine without needing any kind of assistance, then go for it. Like, absolutely do a whiskey flight where you have one at a time. Personally,
Yep.
if you have a sucky palette and you're looking to always expand it and grow it, you should do at least two back to back. You could do more. That was weird to the light.
Yeah, the white going off.
But two back to back is always really, really good because you have a comparison contrast that
That looks
your
really weird.
palette can work with, and that's really nice because then your palette can be like, oh, you'll get more of one thing or another. Sometimes certain notes will cancel each other out. I guess Charles is fixing his light. Sometimes notes will cancel each other out, but for the most part, when you have two different drams to compare and contrast, it makes it really, really easy to pull flavors. Like that's something that I've been doing for a really, really long time. So long that if you look at scotchandsift.com, you can see on the blog that I love I love doing a thing called Scotch versus Scotch.
Yep.
And I got the idea because my brother was really, really good at pulling flavors and I suck at it. So I was like, what can I do to increase my ability at pulling flavors? And sure enough, Scotch versus Scotch or just comparative, it helps a lot.
It makes sense. Sorry about the crazy light.
Oh, Glen Scotia Victoriana. I ended up reading about that on their website. I was curious about that.
But
They have a couple of bottles I'm curious about.
yeah, so overall, I think that's the best way to do it, a back-to-back type scenario. If you guys do ever host one, a quick tip, and we'll probably agree on this one, always put the peated ones at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as though that, especially with people that are, I won't say beginners, but getting into whiskeys, it's very hard to get back from a peated whiskey because then everything starts tasting like smoke.
Absolutely.
Personal
Yeah, peated
opinion?
whiskeys are the palate destroyers.
Yeah. So. But yeah, no. Best flights to do is in restaurants as well. Sometimes they have like half-ounce pours and stuff like that. Best way to try a whiskey, especially if you are a fan of, let's say, Glenfiddich, for instance. You love the 15, but never tried the 12 or the 18. It'll save you a lot of money, so you can go through that lineup, and so on. So I know that there's a bar that I like in the Philippines called Lit Manila where they do Japanese whiskeys only, and they do whiskey flights, and it's by a theme. So it's core range, 12-year-olds, Ichiro's malts, and so on and so forth, so you can kind of pick them apart. So yeah, always check to see your whiskey bar if they have one. A lot of them times they have events where they'll have, like, let's say a Michter's does event, they'll have a bunch of Michter's tasting flights. Maker's Mark does a lot of them with their 46 line.
So, yeah, it's good, especially when they have. So when they do all of a bunch of whiskeys in a flight from a specific distillery, it makes it easier to find like the house style.
Yeah.
From that, like you'll see a commonality between all the whiskeys. That okay, so this is Glenfiddich, this is apple and pear, this is what they do.
Yeah.
They do it very well. And of course single barrels are always going to change things. But if you're going through the like OBs, like original bottlings from a distillery, that's what you're going to get a lot of times.
Did you do a tasting flight at the event you did last week?
Which one?
The one with Steve.
Yeah, we did a flight of all the. Oh,
I wasn't there. Sorry, by the way.
Did a flight of a bunch of Pennsylvania whiskeys. They were all local. Some of them were made completely in Pennsylvania from grain to bottle, and some of them were not quite that Pennsylvania specific. Eric said new bottle for him is Auchentoshan American Oak. Does anybody know age statement? I don't think it matters to the American Oak. Auchentoshan is a lowland that puts out a lot of like cheaper bottles, so I'm guessing probably closer to younger age, but their flavors are very subtle. I find it good, but I'm biased. Balvenie Portwood is very good after peated whiskey is why I made a really weird face because I've never heard of doing that. I'm not a giant Portwood fan from Balvenie anyways. I like it. It's just not my go-to jam. But after a peated whiskey, that sounds weird.
So when I see Kevin C has a note in how he does it. What's funny is I'll actually put the rye closer to the peated.
Delicate to heavy? Delicate. Shouldn't Japanese be like first?
Yeah.
Japanese and Irish, Canadian, all those should be first.
I would actually put probably Japanese, Irish, then Canadian.
Yeah, and I might put rye after Scotch before peated.
That's just us. So
dang, I would change it to delicate to heavy. I've had different experiences with what's delicate and heavy. Japanese is almost always really delicate.
Heavy, crazy Japanese. I don't know.
Apparently.
But
what are you drinking?
Yeah. But yeah, no. Overall, best advice I can give you is try getting whiskey flights at restaurants. Most of them that have a extensive whiskey library, they will have a whiskey flight. Best way to save money. If you are hosting a whiskey flight, try and use delicate to heavy. Keep the peated and rye at the back, or any peppery or strong flavors at the back end. And overall, make sure everyone enjoys. Try to limit between 3, maybe 4. 5's pushing it. I feel
3 to 5.
After a while you won't remember what the first one and the second one is. So then, You have to go
Yeah,
back.
once you get up to like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like your palate starts to get fatigued, and that's a normal thing. It's like a muscle. Scotch Test Dummies, if you go to scotchandstiff.com, I've already got a review of the Toasted American Oak versus the Balvenie 12 Doublewood. I did that a couple weeks ago. I got a bottle by accident.
Some of
from
the
a
first
store
few
that
people
sold
to
it
ever try
early.
it.
Yeah, the store sold it early, and I ended up buying a bottle, and like I did a review real quick.
Yeah, and
So
it was funny because Wally just
already.
ran to get the 12, and he said, "You gotta try it side by side." I'm like, "Okay." He was like, "Which one?" I'm like, "All right." And me and Kevin were just, freaking out.
You and Kevin got to try it blind.
Yeah,
That's right. That's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
I already knew. I could tell what I liked and what I don't like.
Yeah. So next question's from Whiskey and Whiskey USA, Cello. He brought up how a lot of people on the Instagrams and YouTube and so on try bottles of whiskeys and don't try bottles of whiskeys and give their own review or opinion. I've been seeing this personally a lot lately where
I haven't.
Really? I've been seeing it where, especially with like Pappy's, for instance, or the higher end bottles, where people say, "Oh, this is great," and you're like, "Has this person ever tried it? Does he know it? What kind of environment it was in?" Like, think about it this way: a lot of people with Pappy 23 probably will never open it. They tried it at the bar once, and then they're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever because someone told me." And you're not in the right environment. You can't smell everything because some guy ordered barbecue wings on the other side, and so on. So, first of all,
two things.
First of all, when I do tastings, I tell everybody your taste and palate is your opinion, and
of course,
you can run whatever you want. If you taste sausages and candied bacon, you taste sausages and candied bacon. All right, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But when you're looking at people reviewing, make sure you check their history in the past. I did the same thing with Wally. I did the same thing with Scotch Test Dummies. You know, which type of palate we like. Wally didn't like peat. I didn't like peat. So I was like, all right, we can converse in this kind of space.
Also, don't take advice from me for peated stuff unless you know that I'm going to lean towards peated stuff that I like, which is weird usually.
So like if I go for peated stuff, I'm probably going to go for Bart from Scotch Test Dummies. You know what I mean? Like he loves peat, or maybe even lighter peat, probably Ben from Single Malt Alliance. Like those, you know, those kind of things.
Well,
Wally
Ben likes
very light peat, you know, Lefroy 27
balanced
kind of stuff.
Give me balance.
You know, so all right, go ahead. That's my speed.
Oh, so two things. One, Scotch Test Dummies. I didn't care for it either comparatively, but it's interesting nonetheless. The dark barley is incredible.
We like the 12 better. I personally like the 12, the regular 12 better.
I like the 12 double wood actually better, but it's very different. And the second thing, more to the topic of what you're saying, so when I first got my first bottle of Pappy 23, first thing I did was open it. I had to open it, right? Like I needed to know, is it as good as the $800 that I just paid for it?
Ooh, so you didn't even get it at regular pricing.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's a heck of a deal. Trust me on this one, because me and my brother, between the two of us, we got 3 bottles from one store, all for less than $1,000 a piece. But right around there. So getting it for $800, I immediately opened it. I know most people would have just gone and sold it for $2,200, whatever. But I had to open it because I needed to know what was so great about it, like why it was getting all this like rave reviews and why people were talking about it, or why people were saying that it's over oaked. So cracked it open, dug into it. I absolutely love it. I love Pappy 23, like to a level that I can't explain to people. To me, Pappy 23 is a solid 7 out of 10, and that's as high as you can get for bourbon. Like you can't get better for bourbon because flavors just aren't there. It's just the way it works.
You really think that? Wait, 7 out of 10 on like just a whiskey scale in general?
Yeah, just a whiskey scale. To me, Scotch can
get
into
bourbon,
7
what would
plus,
it be out of
but
bourbons?
Bourbon Pappy 23 is 7.
Out of bourbon. So you're only rating bourbons. Would it be a 10 out of 10 for bourbons?
Oh yes, that's the pinnacle of bourbon. So that's a 10 out of 10, but a 7 out of 10 for all whiskey because
all right,
you just can't get that complex. But it does taste like a freaking vanilla bomb, and the mouthfeel is like velvet, like nothing I've ever tasted.
I think people rate that mouthfeel more than anything.
Yeah, but I would talk to people who are like, "Oh, Pappy 23 is over oaked." I'm like, "Have you tried it?" Like, so literally, if you pour water into Pappy 23, which nobody else is gonna do, but I did it for a review. If you pour water into 23, it shuts down all the sweetness, and it does taste over oaked. It tastes disgusting.
A lot of bourbons do
and
that.
All I could think is like, are people drinking this over ice? Because that would ruin Pappy 23. Neat at 49%, it is bomb. And so I don't know. I think a lot of people form this opinion in their head because of things they read and things like that. I think, okay, I have to get into this.
Go for it.
Like, my favorite thing I ever did was buy some, I bought a pour of ORV 25, right? Old Rip Van Winkle 25 came out. Yeah. It was $1,800 for the bottle. Lots of bars bought it. And then it was $10,000 for a bottle. You couldn't get it for cheaper. buddy of mine was like, hey, there's a bar down the street that has it for $200 a pour. You want to split it? I was like, heck yes. I grabbed a sample bottle of Pappy 23. I went to the bar, sat down with ORV 25, and sat down with Pappy 23, right? And sat down and did a legit review in the bar. So I was drinking Pappy 23, a flavor I know, and I was drinking Pappy 25, ORV 25. And I was like, okay, this is super rye forward. It's like super heavy in the rye spices, which was really shocking. And I did not like it at all. It's not that I didn't like it at all. It's just the flavor profile was wrong.
You didn't like it more than the 23.
Right. If you're a rye person, it's perfect for you. You will love it because the spice is all there. If you love Booker's, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But for me, not so much. So I wrote this big review, posted it online, and the first thing someone said to me was, it's a weeder. It doesn't taste like rye. And I was like, all right, first of all, I don't think that you've actually drinking this. And between the two of us, I've drinking it. So, like, fine, you wanted to.
If you taste
go ahead and tell me that it's a weeder, that no one, I don't believe you.
That's fine.
Like I don't believe you because I just drank it.
No,
but that's what people do. Like, they come up with these ideas just because they can't afford it or have never had it. But like, there's no sense in doing it then. Like, okay, Peter White just posted like the 20 more than the 23. Surprise! I've never had the 20. I own the 10, the 12, the 15. I've never had the 20, and I've owned 2 bottles of the 23.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the 20. I can't tell you if it's better or not. All I know is that 23 is bomb.
And that's where I think a lot of people should shut up. Like, be honest. Like, if you haven't tried it, I don't think you should have an opinion on it.
But people do.
And that's where I don't trust that person's opinion if they haven't tried. Like, if someone tried it and said it tastes like socks, tastes like feet, Jura, all right, sure, I'll do that.
Jura 30.
You know what I mean?
Jura
like,
30 does taste like feet.
I would be like, but I'm like, even in my head, I'm like, I'm still curious. And I tried it, and I told you it tasted sour.
Yeah, Jura 30 tastes nasty.
Yeah, like I told Wall, like, I don't care. You tell me it tastes like feet. I'm gonna try it, and
it's so gross.
I don't lick people's feet and shit. I don't know that crap, but it definitely tastes sour.
Oh my gosh, my best friends are in chat right now. All right, Kevin, 4 Roses. I don't like pretty much any of them. I've tried a bunch of the different things, but I don't know about their annuals being better than Pappy. I'd have to try more of them. Christian C, Hibiki 21 over the 30. I still have my 30 sample that I haven't gotten into yet. I'm sad because I'm literally sitting on $135.
Do I have a 30 sample? Did you send me a 30 sample?
No, because I only have half a sample.
I had a 21.
And then Black Fox, you just said the best thing that I've ever heard, because I did that a lot in Scotland, and I do it here in America also.
Yeah.
Order a pour at a restaurant, and then illegally pour it into a vial because you can't have open containers of alcohol. That's neither here nor there. And then I literally will take it home to the same place where I always do my reviews, sit down in the same place, and do a review of it there, because I know that's a controlled environment, no distractions.
Wally's done that, and he's done that at like expensive tastings too.
I have a vial of Glenfiddich 1968 40 some odd year cask in my room right now that I got in Scotland that I sat down, and I still haven't broken out yet, but I'm going to one day. Yeah. I just am looking for the right time to do a review on it.
And see, like, One Glassman mentioned Jura. Like, a lot of people poo-poo on that brand, especially on Instagram and stuff like that.
7 Wood is so good.
I'm going to try it. Like, if you tell me it's the worst whiskey in the world, I want to taste the worst whiskey in the world so I know where a benchmark is. Like, that's the bottom. If that's the bottom, all right, got it. But, and it's your palate. Like, maybe this whiskey's it was great for the master distiller or at that time or that person. And hey, it is what it is. Like, a lot of people like hate Johnny Walker Blue because of the price and all that stuff. But like, it's still smooth and easy drinking for me. I like it. I don't like it for complexities, but I like it.
We're bringing up too many weird things that make variables for this, though. Like Johnny Walker Blue, what people don't realize it's done in batches. So for me, I've said this before, I've had French vanilla batches where it tastes like French vanilla ice cream and it's incredible. Mm-hmm. And I've had batches where it just tastes like a peat bomb and I want to throw it in the trash. So like, it's all over the place. Yeah. And that's the problem with batches. Even in OBs, you'll get some inconsistency if they're not, Solera vetted. It's just the nature of the beast, Nobody's palate's perfect, even the guy who's making it.
No, I agree.
Palates.
I've also tried some orphan barrels that I hate. Like, I don't like I think it's a 22? The 22-year-old orphan barrel. Oh, crap. Let me get it while you guys don't stare at my butt. So get Wally's face for a bit.
Ooh, while Wally's trying to send a text message. I don't know. That's such a good idea.
22. Like, I didn't like it at all because it was too oaked. Like,
what about White Walker? Okay. Everybody who said White Walker was trash, I'm the only person who put it in the freezer like they recommended. And it actually got really syrupy in the freezer, which I liked. But I got red berries out of it, and I thought it was okay. Did I think it was phenomenal? H to the no. Yeah. Did I think it was okay enough to drink? Is it great for a mixer? Absolutely. Like, and it just got pooped on by everybody. But White Walker was not that bad.
I think it's also the marketing, right? Like, people hate that marketing crap.
Oh. It's funny because everybody's like, what's the worst whiskey you've ever had? I totally forgot. I have had the worst whiskey you could ever had. Okay, the worst whiskey that exists
Charles made.
was promoted by a movie called Great Odin's Raven. The movie was Anchorman, and when they said they actually made, and I don't know what distillery it came from, but there's a bottle. I have it in my room. It's called Great Odin's Raven, after Will, what's his name, doing his quote where he's talking in the movie. Yeah, Will Ferrell doing his quote in the movie, and like it's horrible. It was the first I ever cracked open.
Do you think it's supposed to be horrible?
I think it's. I don't think it's supposed to be, because like Ardbeg, you crack it open and those smells. I knew. Okay, rubber bands, iodine. It smells like a hospital. It's gross.
Yeah.
But like when I cracked open Great Odin's Raven, I was like, this smells like
death?
Dank booty. It's just not good. It was so
the
gross.
Booty you don't
so
want.
Disgusting. Yeah, booty you don't want. This woman is 400 pounds and just got done a marathon.
Hey,
and
good for you for doing a marathon, 400-pound lady.
And she hasn't showered in a week, though. That's the problem. So her booty hole is stinking. It is not good.
Okay. Worse than cat's anus. All right, got it.
Yeah, high fiver. Don't eat that booty. But yes.
Hashtag don't eat that booty.
I've never even heard of Glen Salin. I can't imagine. I don't know what to think of that.
So guys, overall, we just want to say that try the whiskey. If people say they don't like it, just give it a chance. Right? And then when you don't like it, then you share your opinion.
Oh wow, Scott gave it away.
But when people kind of just, poo-poo on a whiskey or a style of whiskey and stuff like that, just because they can, then that's their opinion, and then move on. It makes it easier, especially on Instagram. Everyone's highlighting the good stuff. So just remember that. Everyone's highlighting the good stuff. No one's showing you the crap unless they want to show you the crap to make them feel better. So
yeah, that's the problem. As an Instagrammer, like I feel like we have a responsibility. If you're gonna take a picture and post it on Instagram for everybody to see, be positive. Like I've never posted Great Odin's Raven on Instagram, and the reason is, it's like,
warn people.
Would it be fun to make fun of? Sure, but that's not doing anything positive for the community. So I'd rather promote things that I love and love and like, than things that I can't stand.
Like I posted this bottle and I told them like I think it's too over oaked, but then other people are like, oh, I like the oakness, I like the wood. I'm like, then this is the bottle for you.
That's the thing. Like Glenfiddich 19, Age of Discovery, the Bourbon Cask Reserve. I like the amount of oak in it, and I've found people that don't.
Yeah.
But to me, it's fine.
So just remember, like, and we had a demonstration of this at the start of the show, right? Like Wally walked through his notes are a bit different from my notes, and that's just how it is. Like his palate's different from my palate. We eventually came to kind of the same realm of conclusions. But that doesn't always happen. There's a lot of time where we disagree on a lot of stuff, and that's just how it is. And
that's normal.
And you don't shoot people down for it. You just like, hey, that's what you taste. That's what I taste. This is what it is. But there are some people in the community that are very negative, and those are the best people to unfollow and just move on. Yeah. It's easy. Like everyone earns your follow. You can always mute them. You can always hide them. You can always block them. So make sure you can do that, because it's the worst thing I have is like when people will say I taste this, and then you see a bunch of people just be all negative about it, because maybe this is the first time someone's tasting something. Maybe it's the first time someone found that. You don't want to spread that negativity in the community. So that's my opinion.
I have no idea what time we're at anymore.
I don't know either.
I don't know how this works anymore. I'm so confused.
Oh, we're at 37
Scroll
minutes.
all the way down.
We're 37 minutes.
Oh, son of a... Guys, why didn't you say something 7 minutes ago that we were supposed to be over with the show?
A lot of these guys are like, oh, let's go for an hour. They won't notice.
No. Oh, my gosh. This is the problem with that stupid live thing down there not telling me the right time.
And, guys, just FYI, we only got 4 likes with, like, how many? 13, 20-something people you guys watching? Hit that like button. Come on. We can see it.
Hit the like button.
If you haven't already, subscribe. Most of you guys are subscribers anyway. I just want to say thank you guys so much. This is how our show actually is, not like last week's show.
Steve unsubbed from Patreon.
No, it is what it is, man. Thank you for donating some money, then, Steve. Appreciate it.
Moving his support to another Instagrammer.
That's fine. It's all good. We do the show for you guys and for ourselves, because this is the time that me and Wally get to chat, because we're halfway across the U.S. Get to chat with you guys in the chat, so you guys don't have to give us money, but it helps us a lot. It helps me a lot. We're at the point where I think we may be able to do a bit more merch. Probably going to wait another month or two so we can get some money stashed away and then move on.
Christian, I found out because Steve just met me in person and told me about it. He was like, I have to talk to you about something, and then just told me. He felt really bad. But I'm giving him a hard time right now. Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Cody, maybe not everyone likes you. I'm okay with that. It happens. But
not everybody likes us, man, and we're fine with it. It is what it is. If we start pleasing everybody, we're not making content for them.
We're already 8 minutes, 9 minutes over. Good Lord, we should have stopped at 30 minutes.
No,
that's how this works.
All right, guys. Picture.
I'm gonna make a timer. so that we are okay
No, I
again.
should just probably highlight to you where the live is.
No, because I like to sleep.
And Wally does sleep after this sometimes, unless we talk for 2 hours after the show. We might do a live tomorrow about cigars. If not, then we're going to do it on Thursday. So now I've put Wally into this commitment. Now he has to do it.
I have to go meet another Instagrammer at Jack Rose tomorrow.
And hopefully not get murdered.
And not get murdered, hopefully.
And on that note, deuces.